Hey guys, I just wanted to hop on here and just make a quick short video, just kind of give you guys an update and kind of address a couple things. Um, so hello, how are you guys? Um, I am hanging in there. Um, I think the last video I posted, it was about the deliverance, and um, it was like, there's a couple things I could say about that, and about deliverance in general. Um, when I got delivered, I was basically half delivered from things. I wasn't completely delivered. I was half delivered. I have been battling, so it's a constant battle. Um, and after getting delivered, I ended up realizing I needed therapy, and I came to terms, I feel like, with myself, um, that I needed therapy and possibly medication, which really irks me to say because I feel like I have this tendency of being so anti anything unnatural, like medication. Like, I'm so anti med. I really prolong as long as I can until I go to the doctor. It's just one of those things for me, where, nobody really told me to do this. It's just kind of personally how I feel. I personally feel like, I know people in the deliverance team who are nurses, and literally, I know one of them has literally said, like, you always take your meds. You always listen to your doctor. You always take your meds until he tells you to get off of them. Blah blah blah. Like, I'm aware of that. Um, and they're very like pro all of that stuff. I, on the other hand, I just kind of have a different mindset. But I have had peace getting off medications in the past. I did do it semi-dangerously because I didn't get a doctor's approval to do it. I just jumped ship, stopped meds, and stuff like that. So, but, um, I just feel like deliverance can only give so much, you know? Like, deliverance can't change, like, the structure of my life. So, I don't know if anyone else is going through this, but, that's just where it is with me right now, and, I've decided to go back to therapy. I'm seeing a Christian therapist, and so far I'm in love. I never thought I would say this because, I feel like therapists and doctors and stuff like that, I feel like, they've kind of just used me in the past and, like, have used me for money or whatever. I don't know. And I know that's not always the case, but I just really just felt like I just really just felt like I was just a body to them. I really just felt like it was so insignificant for them. Like, I don't know, I just really felt like I really just felt like um sorry, my neighbor's inside. But I really just felt like they weren't helping me, I guess. And I'm really thankful that, like, I finally have found someone who, like, I feel like they are, and they are helping me. Um, so I'm really grateful for that. Um, and I never really thought I would find it because I looked for so long. But I'm not kidding, it's by the grace of God that my appointments are 100% covered, completely covered. Um, and these appointments otherwise would be like hundreds of dollars. So I literally don't understand how they are completely covered because they haven't been in the past, but suddenly now they are. The opportunity is available, and I'm just viewing it all as a big blessing because this is Christian therapy. Um, I just really feel like I am where I am supposed to be right now, and I've already learned so much about me and my parents and everything, even after just like my first session. So I am into psychology still. I am into certain things, you know, but you know, I know I've like talked about the Myers-Briggs in the past. I semi am into the Myers-Briggs. I feel like with most things, there's some truth to things, and there's some false things to things. You know, like with most things, in this world, like it could be something could be like 99% true, but the problem is like if there's just that 1%, like of it not being true, then it's like how can you even like trust it? You know what I mean? So that's just kind of been my dilemma. With things is like if it's not 100%, how do I know I can trust it? But it doesn't mean that it's all negative, and you know, I understand it has helped people a lot, and there are benefits that, you know, with most things people can get from things. So yeah, I just wanted to say that, and just let you guys know I'm doing pretty okay. I'm still battling, but I just finally feel like I just feel blessed right now, you know. So yeah, and I guess, you know, I'll explain a little bit about the deliverance. So yeah, I was delivered, but the way it was unbiblical, and I think that's why it kind of didn't work. Is, well, because of multiple things. So I'm going to be explaining that in this video. So basically, I don't want to say what it was, but something happened, and basically Elizabeth's son Eric knew about it, and I wanted to talk to him about it because he knew about it, and I met up with him about something, and sorry, I feel like I'm making like a lot of noise, so like sorry about that, but yeah, I met up with him. That's all I was expecting, to just talk to him really quick and get going, and it ended up being a full-on deliverance, and yeah, unbiblical. It was not biblical, and I should have really been more precautious. And there's been times in the past where the Lord has told me I'm impulsive. I don't feel like I'm an impulsive person, but I feel like there are moments where I'm like, oh yeah, like this seems right, like this is probably right, when the reality is it's not. And the Lord has specifically told me like to sit with decisions and really think about the decisions. Like, so in a sense he's right. And you know, and I've gotten called out at a church like that I haven't really gone to before, and like these people, like when I went up to the front and asked, you know, was asking for prayer, like they got that message, and like got the message like, oh yeah, you're like impulsive and like you need to work on that, and like and I'm just like, okay. And of course, like in my flesh, like I'm offended, like I'm like, I'm not impulsive, but then it's like I get back in my seat and I'm just like, maybe I am impulsive. So I guess I've never viewed myself like that. Like I have never viewed myself as impulsive. I've always, I don't know. But they're right. Regardless, they're right. I can't even deny it, because there's been so many times where I do make decisions like this and then I regret them. Deliverance with Elizabeth's son was one of those things, because first off, the circumstance was inappropriate. I don't think a man should deliver a woman, and there is probably scripture on that, don't quote me, but yeah, and especially alone. So it was alone, and it was one-on-one. And also, I feel like I just wasn't ready. Like I feel like I was just jumping into this thing, and I'm just like, well, what do I have to lose? Like, if the Lord's showing him all this stuff, like, then I should just do this, you know? And So that's exactly what I did, and I just feel like I wasn't ready for it, but I'm getting closer for sure, but it just has made me realize I need therapy so bad, because there's just so much unresolved things that I just like get overwhelmed with, and I don't really know how to handle them, and like even if I go to others and like tell them my problems, it's like they don't help me, like they don't know how to help me either, and then I end up feeling almost like a burden to everybody and just miserable, because it's just like I'm trying to figure this stuff out too, and they give me solutions and they try to help me, but at the end of the day it never really helps me, like it really does not. So there's just a lot of things personally like I have to go through and grow through, and I think, you know, just building my relationship with the Lord is one of those things, just spending more time with Him, just one-on-one literally with Him, and I have been noticing the more I go to church, the better I feel for some reason, like obviously I know why, but I'm just kind of saying that, you know, it's like, like, why do I feel better when I'm here? Like, but I really do. I'm like, my spirit just feels so uplifted and like elevated, and just, yeah. So worship, going to church has been very important for me. I really tried not missing it. So lately the Lord has been having me attend a specific service, and I'm hoping to keep going to it. But it's kind of like a newer service, and it's definitely heavily prophetic. So prophetic. They had a tent revival, and that was crazy, or whatever it's called, I don't know, but yeah, just being like, do you want to come up, do you want blah blah blah, do you want to experience Holy Spirit, like really just pouring out into the community, and like in the block of a community, and just wanting to show people the power of the Lord. And I feel like a lot of the time, you know, people don't want it. People don't, you know, people are so wrapped up in their own world that it's like almost hard to step out into another one, or into, you know, someone else's world. So I just feel like you don't see that often. Like you don't see a revival like that, you know, like just like out and about, and just, you know, it was really fascinating, honestly. But yeah, back to the deliverance thing, it was handled wrong and unbiblically, and as good as Eric's intentions were, I don't believe it was the right thing. I don't. And I did experience complete freedom, like absolute complete freedom, and then those feelings and everything kind of slowly starts creeping back, you know, and stuff like that, and just feeling discouraged, and realizing, oh, like I have all these other things like I need to deal with and I haven't healed from, and, you know, whatever, and so it's definitely a battle, but, you know, the battle's definitely not over. It definitely is a continuous battle, constantly. Yeah. And I have been really wrapped up in my job, my finances. Ended up realizing that possibly my finances were cursed, so I had to repent of some stuff. This must have been from the Lord, because like I was just thinking about this the other day, like not even like 3 days ago, and then this video just randomly pops up like on my feed or whatever, and I'm watching it and I'm just like, this makes so much sense to me. Like, so I'm gonna leave that like on my channel for you guys to like check out, and it's like, I think it's a prayer over your finances and how to like unblock that. If you feel like you can never reach it past like a certain amount of money, if like you know, the money just goes somewhere else, like just like stuff like that. I highly recommend that you watch this video, because after she got done explaining everything, I was like, this makes so much sense, like, to me. So and I understand, like, not everyone is going to believe in the prophetic, and that's okay. And you know, it's not all about the prophetic, it's all about Jesus. So I'm aware of that. But, you know, I just wanted to also touch upon this as well, that the prophetic, it means a lot to me personally, because it's the thing that saved my life. I know it's not the most important gift or gift you can ever have, and obviously there's so many other gifts you can have, like, you know, like wisdom, knowledge, whatever gift it may be. It doesn't always have to be prophetic. It's not always prophetic, although I do believe the Lord does desire for us to become prophetic, and there's a Bible verse on that. Here, let me pull it up really quick. Okay, so it is, I can't find it for some reason, but I found this article, and it's called "God Desires That All His People Would Be Prophets, God's Spokesmen Who Speak for God." And there are Bible verses on that. I know I've read them in the past. Reading some more right now. Prophets are God's spokesmen. They speak for God and speak forth God. Wow, there's a lot of Bible verses referencing that. God is hidden, but through the speaking of the prophets, God himself and his intention are explained. Isaiah 45:15 and some other ones. There's one specific one I'm thinking of, but it's not popping up right now. But yeah, basically God, oh, here it is. It's in 1 Corinthians, of course. Follow the way of love and eagerly desire spiritual gifts, especially the gift of prophecy. That's like right in the beginning of 1 Corinthians 14. So that's literally what I was looking for. And then this is really long, so I'm not going to read all of it, but that's specifically what I wanted to read. And obviously in the end days, you know, I think it says something about old men will have dreams and visions. Old and young, it says. In the last days it shall be, God declares, that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. So it doesn't matter what age you are. Prophecy has no age. Like, you could be a toddler, you could be a baby, you could be whatever, you could be an old man, you know, there's no really limitation on the prophetic. So I see it all the time. I see literally children at my church who I believe are prophetic, and it's really interesting. It's because they're not necessarily toddlers, but they're like kindergartners, so it's very interesting watching it unfold, I guess. It really is just fascinating to me, considering how young they are, because I had such a normal, bland childhood where and I hate to say it, but I feel like I really did not learn a lot, and I really didn't learn a lot that benefited my life, even in my late adulthood years. So it just is fascinating watching these kids grow up and watching them just possess these qualities that are so beyond, like, people their age, you know, and it's just kind of crazy. And yeah. But yeah, anyways, I might become with my job stuff, I might become a full-time mailman potentially, but I don't know. It's still like in the works, but oh yeah, I also wanted to say with the prophecy thing, I wanted to bring this up because it's not the most important thing. So hear me out. And I'm sorry if I came off this way. It's not the most important thing to focus on biblically. But at the same time, sometimes I feel like it is the most important thing to me, specifically because it was the thing that supernaturally saved my life. But it does not mean that it's any more or less important than any of the other gifts. Because exactly like that Bible verse says, you know, we need the hand, we need the foot, we need the body. You know, the body cannot work without the hand or the foot. Like, everyone has their own purpose and function in the body, right? So it doesn't make anyone else more than or less than. It really does not. But it's just something that fascinates me because it's literally happening to me. And it's so real, and it just shakes me so much to the very core of my being, because things happen to me literally all the time, and it's like, and I have so many story times to tell you guys. It's unreal, but that's really the only reason why I bring it up. And I'm sorry if it's appeared that I idolize that, but it's just something that has really made me eager in the faith, and it has really given me a childlike faith. So I just wanted to say that, and like I said, it was literally the thing that saved my life. So that's why I'm so I speak so boldly and strongly about it, because if it could save my life, I mean, I believe it could save lives. And I've seen it, and I've seen it unfold before my eyes. I have seen prophecy save the lives of suicidal people. And I mean, I don't know if there's anything more beautiful. I really don't know, because it just reaches down so far into my core of my being, and it just makes my heart just actually feel okay, you know, like, I don't know, like, if that even makes sense, but it just hits so close to home. It's so personal, and it's just so crazy just watching it constantly unfold and save lives. And I mean, that's Christ, you know, that's God's so good. God is so good. And what else? I also wanted to say, with prophecy, if you desire to learn more about prophetic people, I do recommend learning about prophecy, checking out this guy on YouTube. He's a really good preacher. His name's Isaiah Sildifer. I recommend him. He has a deliverance map if you are interested. But also keep in mind, you know, prophetic people does not always equal Christian. So there comes a point where it's like, you can start idolizing people, and that's dangerous. You never want to idolize people. You only want to idolize Jesus, because ultimately Jesus, I mean, I could list like over 10 people right now that I've idolized, and they have sent me down a pit of despair because of how much they've let me down. I have learned the hard way to never idolize anybody, except for Jesus, because ultimately Jesus is that person who will never ever let you down. So, and I learned that the hard way. So just be careful with that. Don't only search for the prophetic. Like, if you want proof, you're gonna get it, no matter where you are. Whether you go searching for it, or if you're just searching for it in the Bible, it's gonna come to you, because those who seek find. at, like, no matter who you are, those who seek, they are going to find whatever that thing is that they are seeking. Here, let me read you guys this Bible verse. Okay, so Matthew 7:7-8. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives. The one who seeks finds. And the one who knocks, the door will be opened. So guess what? If we're not asking questions, or if we're not seeking, that door is not going to be opened. It's only in the process where you're seeking and you're desiring and you are searching something with your whole heart, that's when you are finally going to get the answers. Okay? So I'm just being passionate about this because I have been in a place where prophetic people have let me down. And this is a whole story in itself. I'll probably talk about it another time. But I can assure you that typically people aren't perfect. They just aren't. If you find a crowd of, like, perfect people, I mean, good for you, but they are very, very hard to find. People have problems, you know? I feel like that's just inevitable in this life. And, you know, it sucks and it's tiring, but it's true. You should really expect people to let you down. Most of the time. You should set the bar very, very low. And maybe that's not healthy. I mean, hey, I'm going to therapy, you know? But, I mean, this is just the way I view it. Don't idolize prophetic people. Just don't. Like I said, if you want to go searching and, you know, meeting these people and experience miracles and stuff like that, I mean, absolutely meet the prophetic. But if you are just going in hopes of whatever, and you think this is your community, and, like, you only want to listen to this one preacher, and you only want to, like, you know, because they have these gifts and da-da-da-da, like, it's gonna fall. Most likely. If it hasn't already. I have met in the past very, very gifted prophetic people to the point where you walk in the room with them and it's like you're in a different atmosphere. It's like you walk in the room and suddenly those, like, thoughts go away and whatever, like, you feel the presence of the Lord. Sometimes people are gifted like that, and I have been in the presence of those people. It is different. It's not like the norm. It's not like the norm, like you go in the grocery store, you exchange the money, you leave. It's like you meet this person and you can feel it on them to the point where it shakes your spirit. I'm not kidding. And it's like I walked in this room all depressed, and all of a sudden, like, how come all these feelings just, like, melted away, and I just, you know, like, things like that, right? I have been in the presence of very, very gifted people who literally could heal people, heal the blind, heal whoever, who go out in countries and heal people. Like, I have been in the presence of those people who have that sort of anointing from Holy Spirit. And even in the presence of those people, there were still things wrong that weren't quite solved. It doesn't mean they're horrible. It doesn't mean that they're bad. It means that they're not perfect and that they're human. That's what it means. And it's like, it's like, it just kind of, it's just kind of something that I've noticed, and I just feel like we should be careful. We should be careful, and It's not all about the gifts. I feel like the gifts is kind of a side thing. The main thing should be Jesus. And it took me a long time to understand this, because I used to just like want to be in the middle of that and want to see things and want to experience things. And yeah, I did. But it's like it was missing the main focus. The main focus was Jesus. I mean, honestly, there's no other way to say it. So I would say if you can find a good Bible study, you know, really talking about Jesus, I mean, you've won the lottery. You really have. And guess what? If you experience the prophetic, these other things are added onto you. And honestly, if you pray for these things, I mean, you're gonna get them. If you are a person of God and if you love God, I mean, it's honestly only a matter of time. If you really want to start experiencing the prophetic for yourself. But it's not something to be like, how do I become prophetic? I only have to see these people, like, I have to watch this one prophetic person, and, you know, like, I have to, you know, only see this one prophetic person every single weekend, like, whatever. For some reason, I feel like the Lord is directing me in that direction because of my job and stuff like that, and timing, which is kind of odd because I wasn't expecting that. But if that changes, so be it. Like, I really just, I don't care. I really don't. Because I know that these things are just additives. I mean, and I hate to say it, but it's true. Because if you don't know love, the love of Christ, but you're out here and doing miracles and having visions, there's literally a Bible verse about this. I feel like I have talked about this before. You're missing the point. You know? So, and this isn't to anyone specific, oh my gosh. But, like, I have to remind myself these things too. Because it's like, I get caught up. And I'm like, I want to see this person. I want to see a miracle, da-da-da-da-da. And I tell all my buddies, like, and I, you know, and it's like, we get excited. And it's like, we want to see the Lord's work. We want to see the Lord work in people. We want to see lives changed. We want to see souls healed. We want to see what the Lord can really do. We love that. We love that. But at the end of the day, it's not about that. It's about the love of the Lord. And if we exemplify that, and it's hard. It's so hard going against your flesh, because it's a constant battle between the flesh and the spirit. So it's just a constant battle. And it's all about balance. You know what I mean? It's just all about it's all about just learning to kill the flesh and stuff like that, but which isn't always easy. But I don't know, you know. There's been times where, like, I feel like whether I knew it or not, I was coming across witches and they were promising me a lot of things, telling, like, maybe even seeing things, if I would have went certain ways, and you know, I turned it down. I turned it down for Jesus. There has been times where, you know, certain offerings or whatever are presented to me, because those people, they see the potential, and they see, you see, this is my problem, because, like, how do I say this? And I'm trying not to, like, discuss everything right now, because, like, this video would just be, like, a lot if I did, but I feel like I demonize certain things, you know? But at the end of the day, like, not everything should be demonized, but I do believe, like, you know, I can't really tell you sometimes if a person's getting a vision from God or from the enemy, because Well, sometimes you can because of their fruit. You'll know by their fruit, the fruit of the Spirit. So, does it have fruit of the Spirit or does it not? Test the fruits of the Spirit, the Bible says. And I felt like it bared no fruit. So I feel like there's been times where like the enemy, has tried tempting me with things too. And I literally have turned things down for God and for myself, because I know that God, he's the one who has my back. Like, sometimes I think I have my back. Like, whatever. I know the Lord, like, 100% has my back way more than I have my back, because, like, you guys probably know my testimony. I was planning on killing myself. Like, I did not have my back literally at all. Like, I wanted to throw my back in the grave. Like, the only thing that was like I was about to straight up fall, and then the Lord basically was like, I did a trust fall with the Lord. Like, that's basically essentially how it went. Even though I didn't know it at the time, that's basically what happened. Like, I fell, God picked me up, because he was the one who actually had my back. And, yeah, sorry if this video is like all over the place. There's just a lot of things I want to touch upon today, and I'm not trying to be naggy and be like, don't go to prophetic people, da da da. I'm just saying, like, if you build your relationship with the Lord, like, it really will just come naturally. Because even when I wasn't even looking for it, I mean, it came looking after me. And just, that's literally how it works. That is how it works, Yeah. And actually, I kind of have a funny story too. So basically, I'm not gonna say everything, but it's just crazy how the Lord works, Like, it really is. And there's this new girl who started going to our Bible study, and she's a witch and a medium. And the only reason why I'm saying this is because I'm trying to beat stereotypes of, like, and I hate when people demonize people, So, really, we should be expecting this as Christians. I'm so tired of, like, reading the news and being like, blah, 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 is a Satanist. Like, why is this surprising to us? Why is it surprising that celebrities are doing, like, blood rituals? Like, why is this a surprise? Like, it's not. Like, like, it's not a surprise. Like, it says in the Bible, like, these things are going to happen, and guess what? They are. It's just crazy because it's, like, it's unfolding in front of our eyes, and it's like, I don't know. I just think it's crazy that some people just can't see it. Like, I don't know, it's just really weird, but... So, yeah, anyways... Oh yeah, so going back to my story, this girl joined our Bible study, and it's so interesting because, like, I've been praying. Okay, this might sound so stereotypical, but, like, I've been really praying for an extrovert because, like, I just want that. Like, I just want, like, sometimes, like, being alone, like, gets lonely, and when you're around other people who want to be alone, it gets lonely. So I've been kind of praying for an extrovert to just bring us all together, and but I would say we are getting better. Like, we are, like, becoming more social kind and stuff like that. But yeah, so this girl joined who, like, my one buddy, like, met at work, and she came one day after work. And it's just crazy. Just, like, I just have seen so much stuff. Like, y'all, like, and just, this girl comes in, and everything seems fine and well. I mean, obviously, extrovert, so funny. Like, she's hilarious. Like, our Bible study is already so funny, but literally, this girl, she's, like, the cherry on top of, like, hilariousness. Like, like we're just like always cracking jokes, always laughing. Like it's just honestly fun. It's like I've never been to a Bible study like this. Like and listen, sometimes I swear like sailors, okay? We're working on stuff. Like you know what I mean? And it's just so funny cuz this girl, she's just like so ADHD, so extrovert, like constantly saying things, like throwing jokes, like she's hilarious. And then all of a sudden it's like things are getting a little more serious, and like, you know, she kind of just like reveals herself to us, and it's just like, oh yeah, she doesn't flat out say I'm a witch, but you know, she's like, I do tarot, I do water spells, moon spells, I do all these sorts of different things. I'm into astrology, like just saying like all these things, right? And you know, and at the end of everything, she's like, oh yeah, also my ancestors are telling me to say thank you guys for having me be here, and my ancestors are telling me that there's a lot I could learn from you guys. And that's when I feel like we're just kind of quiet, you know, and I just asked her, like, my buddies said I called her out. Like, I wasn't calling her out. I was just asking her, are you a medium? And she said, yes, I'm a medium. And she told the group, my grandfather is in the corner, and he's talking to me. And you know, my spiritual mom, Elizabeth, is like, that's not your grandfather. That dark figure that came in with you, that he looks nothing like a grandfather. And the room kind of just got silent. And she was like, no, that's my grandfather. It says in the Bible that the devil may come disguised as an angel of light. I don't think we should take that Bible verse lightly. And it kind of has introduced to me, and I've been thinking this for a while, so when I say stuff like this, usually it's stuff I've been thinking about for a long time, typically, but I feel like, you know, I personally have came to the conclusion that, you know, I don't really believe in ghosts. You know, I believe people dabble and they don't know what they're dabbling in, and there's an assignment on us since the day we are born. Things are watching us because they have an assignment for the benefit of themselves. So it really just is a dog world, you know. I mean, since the very day where we are born, you know, it's not a battle of flesh and blood, but against rulers and authorities, and against, you know, powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. So it's just kind of crazy because I used to dabble in that stuff so much, and it's just kind of crazy how much it deceived me. But it kind of makes sense, because at the same time, it's like, when did I ever call the name of Jesus? When did I ever ask the spirits about Jesus? Like, when did I ever ask the spirits to reveal themselves in the name of Jesus? Like, when did I ever use my power and authority in the name of Jesus? Ever. And do these people do that? Do these people do that with these spirits? Sometimes they do. Not all the time, but sometimes. And all I know is Elizabeth has mighty power and authority. it doesn't mean we always get what we want, because at the end of the day we're still human, but I am aware that she has a lot of insight into the spiritual realm, you know, and yeah, it's just kind of crazy, you know, that happened. So we kind of just left it alone, you know, and you know, she seems really nice. I hope she keeps coming. And it's just crazy because not that first time she came, but I think it was like the second time she came, she just like broke down crying. And you know, Elizabeth was like, I had a vision of you, and you were really just rolling the dice, like taking a chance coming here, not even knowing really what to expect. And you know, the Lord revealed to me that about you. And so literally, like, Elizabeth knew her intentions of even coming to the group, and that's when she broke down. And I don't know what was said, but it just got really real and really personal. And yeah, pray for this girl if you are led. Pray for this new girl in the Bible group, and even if you're led, pray for extroverts, because I feel like some introverts need some extroverts in their lives, or whatever, as cliche as that sounds. I feel like it's honestly true. Too much, like, I don't know if I can handle it too much, but, you know, I really do enjoy their company, because, I get so in my head and so, like, almost, like, burnt out, you know, and they just keep it going and they just don't stop. And, I just really like that, you know, they're just like a lot of fun in that way, and I really admire that. So, but yeah, just crazy. Like, what are the odds of that? You know, there's always something going on in my Bible study group. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like y'all, like. But she's so sweet. She really is, just deep down. It's like, she just seems like such a sweet person. And I feel like she's been through a lot of pain in her life too. And sometimes pain can really take a toll on us, you know, and we have to humble ourselves and respect that, you know, and respect, you know, what others are going through. So, but at the end of the day, it's like, I want to see everyone healed, including myself. I want to see people doing better. I want to see, I'm just so tired of people accepting reality as it is when they're miserable and they're not living how they want to be, you know? And I just think it's really cool seeing lives changed and see all the chains lifted and just freedom. Like honestly, like, I think it's just so beautiful. And I've seen it in front of my eyes. Like, I continue to see it in front of my eyes. And yeah, there's just a lot more I could say, but I just really felt like talking to you guys today and just really expressing my mind, really expressing my opinion. And I know I have been kind of talking for a while, but I feel like all this stuff is really important to talk about and kind of discuss. Oh, another thing as well. So another kind of story. So I was texting Elizabeth's son, Eric, and basically, I don't know how to say this, but I don't really hang out with guys ever. Besides that one time with Eric, there's no one-on-one with guys ever. Like, Eric might be the only man I even still have conversation with, besides with you guys, like, online. Like, that's fine. But I'm just very careful with who I let in my circle right now. And the Lord actually, this is kind of very, very personal, but the Lord actually revealed to me that I hang around a lot with non-Christians, and he revealed that to actually my spiritual mom. And she doesn't know who I hang out with, you know. She doesn't know. She doesn't know what I'm doing 24/7, who I'm hanging out with like that, you know. But, you know, the Lord did reveal that to her, and it kind of made me feel bad, because it was kind of like, well, why am I doing that? You know, I should hang out with more Christians. So I've been really trying hard to get out of my comfort zone, hang out more with Bible study people. I really want to join something too, maybe to get me more involved in the community with Christians. So I'm kind of in the midst of that as well. I think it would be really fun to just have a group to just do things with, you know, and go from there, like whether it's like hiking or something like that. That like honestly all sounds fun. But so but yeah, prophetic people are always around. You can even meet prophetic people online. Typically, you know, I have talked about this in the past, but if you really want it, it is available. And typically they don't even charge. I mean, you should so, because they're literally typing out like paragraphs about your life, you know, and it's like, at least give them something, like, in my opinion, because they're doing all these things for you and they're not even expecting anything in return. They're just doing it to, you know, please the Lord. So it really is just admirable. But obviously be careful, use discernment. You know, they, you know, it is strangers online. So, but you know, I have gotten really positive things from that, and I've learned a lot about cultures from other countries and the way they do things and stuff like that. Like 100%. So yeah, anyways, oh yeah, I was gonna share a story. So back to Elizabeth's son Eric. So I talk about these people also a lot because they really are like my family. Like I really do view them as family. Like, I view Eric as like my brother. I've told him this. Like, I view him as like a spiritual brother, and I view Elizabeth as like my spiritual mom. Like, I really, really do. Like, I want friends, like, to where one day I can like be in the front row of their weddings. Like, I want friends like that. I want real friends. Like, I want friends like who feel like family. Like, I've always wanted that, and I've always wanted that connection. That just reminded me. Okay, so guys, I have so many stories. This video is so long. Bear with me, okay? More stories. So, yeah, I was texting Eric on the phone, and he was talking about, I don't know why, but even I kind of had a fallout with Eric a while ago, and then I don't know why I would always see him, like, after, like, we fell out. It's not now that we're friends, but back then it's like, when we fell out, I would always see him. He would always find my car. I'd see him at the gas station. I mean, it was like a thing. And he told me, whenever he sees people like this over and over, he typically sees it as a sign that they are struggling and they need prayer. Hold on 2 seconds, my computer's gonna die. So yeah, typically he would view all those things as a sign. Okay. And he was right, because I was heavily struggling and battling. So, battling a lot. Old things, old tendencies. I brought this up in a testimony. I used to cut myself. That's been like a thing on and off. Suicidal thoughts, you know, all those sorts of things. and cunning just is kind of a thing that it kind of just helps in the moment. It's kind of strange, because it's like, whatever. I'm not going to get into that right now, but basically, during the times that I would see him, I would definitely say that held a lot of truth, like, that I did need prayer and I was struggling, even when I wasn't a Christian. So, or saying I was a Christian, but no relationship with God, not reading the Bible, not going to church, you know. Yeah. But basically, that was a way, you know, with me and him, and I guess that happens with other people too, and a lot. So it happened with this girl recently, and this girl is heavily tattooed. She's a tattoo artist, and I'm pretty sure she's dating a tattoo artist or something like that. So these people are heavily tattooed. I'm only saying that to just kind of like paint a better picture and just show that, like, it doesn't matter what you look like God is, he's always gonna chase after you, no matter what you look like. It don't matter, it really does not. But it's just really interesting because I guess it was just the right place, right time. He started talking about the Lord, and she gave her life over to the Lord. Like, I'm pretty sure that day. And he was so excited, and he was like telling me about it, and he was just like, I just want to like buy her, like, do you have like a Bible I can give to her? Like, I want to give her a Bible tomorrow, like, and I have work, and like this like really cool place like closes tomorrow, and I really just like want to buy her a book and like just like share the message of the Lord, and all this stuff. And I looked at my spare Bibles, and I was like, they're kind of janky. You might want to like get a new Bible. So I ended up helping him while he was like at work, and I got Bibles, I guess. And yeah, we ended up picking out this really beautiful almost like teal blue Bible, and it has like this beautiful floral design in the middle, and I can't believe it was only $12. $12. That's like a Chipotle meal. I mean, I'm just saying, like, and so beautiful. And I got her some extra little things, and I gave it to Eric, and he said that he was like racing over to her work and she left, but the next day he went, and he gave it to her, and she was like in love with it. Like, she was like so gracious for it, and she was just like, thank you so much. I guess her and her boyfriend, she's beginning to notice things around her. Typically that's how it goes. You start noticing things, and the Lord has just been chasing after this girl. Like, I'm not kidding. It's like one thing after another thing after another thing, prophetically even. Like, these things are chasing after this girl, because I believe it is her time. And her dude that she's in a relationship with, I believe he is a Christian, but he's not super serious about the faith. It's just kind of like a label or something like that. So pray for them if you're led, because I think the Lord wants to do amazing works, and he wants to reveal his power and glory, and really show that he is the Lord of Lords. So and overall just like show his love to others. So I really hope that they experience the Lord's love ultimately, because I mean, really, it's just so beautiful, and it's just it really just takes my breath away. I mean, there's no other way to say it. It's just, the Lord is just like the most magical, like awesome, beyond me thing I mean I could ever think of. Like, he's so beyond us, so his ways are not our ways. So yeah, I just really love the Lord, and What else? What else? I think it's really amazing how just the circumstance of it, because I feel like you don't really see that often. It's very, very rare for, I feel like, a tattoo artist to want to experience Jesus. Although it can happen, and I'm sure it does, you know, I feel like it's rare. So it's just amazing the places that God will reach and how he'll try to reach us. And it's just really cool, you know. It's just, you know, I really love it. He just, like, I also just wanted to say, like, I feel like people have such a problem with, like, following God, and I feel like a majority of it it has nothing to do with, you know, our, how do I say this? It has nothing to do with our inner self. It has everything to do with our outer self and the way that we are presented and the way that we come across to people. And forget my language, I think that's such bullshit. Like, honestly, I feel like the Lord is teaching me to be bold and take a stand, and I've become really strong in that way, and it's just kind of crazy because I never thought I would be here like this. But I mean, well, I guess I'll say, like, the fear of man is a stronghold that people need deliverance from. Like, like, if someone is constantly like, oh, what is blah 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 gonna think, what are my friends gonna think, what is blah 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 gonna think, yeah, I mean, that's not the Lord. Like, the Lord would never want you to feel like that, you know. So that's definitely something that can be casted out, honestly. And yeah, so, you know, I just wanted to say that. But also, yeah, so, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of, like, how to word this the right way, but so people, you know, I feel like people just have such a problem with that, you know, and I just really feel like we shouldn't be focusing on that. We should be focusing on our relationship with Jesus and focusing on reading the Word, like even just learning who he is and, like, what he did, you know, like, just, like, what his people did on earth, and just, you know, going from there, like, you know, and I feel like as we build the relationship with the Lord, I mean, things will just become healed. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, it does happen sometimes like that. Like, all it takes is just a relationship, and sometimes the Lord will just meet you right then and there. Whatever you need, you know. Obviously pray, because praying helps and all those sorts of things, but, you know, his ways are not our ways, so, it really is never the same, like, with anybody. And I can 100% say that. Like, it might be very similar, but it's never 100% the same. So, yeah. But yeah, I've been very bold. I've been talking about Jesus to my handyman, my family, my cousins, my my boyfriend's family, like, everybody, like, anyone who, you know, may even talk about Jesus. Like, I feel like I'm just becoming, like, more and more comfortable with just, like, being myself and, like, revealing myself, and almost, like, teaching them who Jesus is and, like, what he came here to do, and the love of the Lord, you know. And yeah, and it's just so powerful because it's just so cold here, and it's just so evil here, you know, and it's just really experiencing the love of the Lord. I mean, he really is just like the light of my life. Like, I mean, there's no other way to say it. Like, God is the thing, he's the spark when I wake up in the day. Like, he's the thing that gives me hope, for a better day. He he's the picture inside of my locket. Like, I love Jesus, you know? It's just crazy. Because I, I never thought I would be here, you know, and saying these things, but, I just, yeah, I really love the Lord, but, you know, I've been being really bold too, um, and even, you know, talking about my cousins, or talking about this to my cousins that who I've never talked about spirituality with in my life, not sure if they ever have with anybody, and then one day just, you know, like the conversation somehow went spiritual, and his major is like business philosophy or something like that, and obviously a thinker. He thinks a lot. You can tell when they have like a major like that, and it's just so interesting because it's just so interesting because you never know what Jesus is gonna do, I guess, and you know, yeah, I told them my testimony straight up. Had no clue how they were gonna react, none at all, and it's almost like it was almost like shock, but also amazement, but also like manifestation. Typically that's how it goes, and probably will always go, with most people. Yeah. So, it's funny. It's funny because, you know, I almost felt closer with my cousin after I told them that, and specifically this one in particular, the one who has the philosophy major, and you know, he was like, "Hey, let's go to your car and go to your place," and I'm like, "Okay, sure, you want to drive with me?" And he was just like, "It's crazy that you say these things, because, I mean, I have been suicidal, and I was planning on ending my life a couple of years ago, and I just told him, you know, like, you know, my plan was, like, I wasn't even gonna make it past 25, and he was like, yeah, mine was 22, and I'm just kind of like, I mean, I'm pretty sure the man's, like, 20 right now, so, I mean, I'm just saying. I feel bad not knowing the exact age of my cousin, but somewhere around there. I have a lot of cousins, so, but, yeah, I mean, you just never, this is why it's so important to talk about your testimony, because there may be a person you come across who they don't want to dig, they don't want to know if Jesus is real, and then they continue with their poor decision, and then it's too late. That was a perfect example of, you know what, right here, right now, the time is now, I'm telling you my testimony, and it's up to you to decide what you want to do with it, and your fate is now in your own hands, you know, at least now you know, and yeah, I told my whole cousins and all my cousins about that, my aunt, her 2 sons, I told them about it. I have also told my aunt and my uncle and not all their children, I think just my aunt and my uncle, although I do think the children have overheard my testimony, somehow. So, they know a big part of my story as well, and they're very young. I've told my grandma, you know, I've told my grandpa, I've told my sister, like, you know, even my friends who, like, I don't know how they're gonna react, I tell them about things, and typically, like, you know, there's obviously a reason why the Lord has put certain people in my life, because he does want me to have really good friends that are permanent. He doesn't want me to have like fake friends, you know. He wants me to have friends how I want, you know. Not that it's all about me, but excuse me. He knows the desires of my heart, and if they align with his will, I mean, you will get it. So and I'm so grateful for that, because like I've been longing for that, like, and I just feel it's just crazy, like life is just insane, because I feel like I've been longing for this. I've been longing for something like this. And guys, this new church I go to, yes, it's prophetic, and I know I just like went into this whole thing about that, but I'm telling you, these people are so almost like pure, genuine, like they want to see you do good, they want to see you healed, they want to see you happy. Like, you can just tell that these people want to see you do good, but they're also completely healed themselves. And it's just crazy. And it's crazy hearing people's testimonies, and just even of what happened recently, like at the event, like testimonies of that, like that was crazy. And yeah, but yeah, anyways, I feel like, you know, I just feel like the more you get to know the Lord and, you know, experience his love, the more you'll want to just talk about it to other people in hopes of they'll, you know, want to experience it as well. And I feel like, you know, if you really love somebody, you would want them to have that, you know, have the most ultimate peace, have the most ultimate love they could ever feel in their whole life, you know. And you know, not that anyone really particularly deserves it, but, you know, we all fall short to the glory of the Lord. But that's all the more reason that we need Christ, you know. Like, we need him, because he is perfect, and he is all we need, and he is the healer, he is the restorer, he is the lover of your life, you know. I mean, honestly, he's the one who loves your life. He's the one who wants to save your life. He's the one who wants to keep you away from harm. He's the one who, I mean, he's your creator. I mean, it's that simple, you know. So I know I tend to get very investigated and dig very deep in these things naturally, you know, but I mean, I feel like you don't even particularly have to understand the Lord. And I think that's more of a reason why the Lord's for everybody, is like, yeah, you don't have to learn about the prophetic and stuff like that. It's not required. Like, you don't have to learn about this stuff, but at the same time, it's like, after you've experienced it, I mean, you never look at life ever like the same ever again. It's like everything's different. Everything's in a new lens. Like, you see people different. Like, I don't know if this even makes any sense, but oh yeah. And also I talked about Jesus to my handyman, because my handyman, like testimony, I have a testimony, okay? Bear with me, y'all, because I'm kind of tired from last night, and I worked this morning, but it's been a busy day. But yeah, I had this handyman over, and I've been praying for a handyman for my family, because we had a good handyman before, okay, but he was kind of creepy, and like, I don't mean to say that in a mean way, but there's no other way to say it. I mean, he just straight up was creepy, and he made my mom, my sister, and me uncomfortable, and we were just kind of like, you know what, forget this guy, he's weird, like bye, you know. And we never contacted him again. We've been searching for a handyman, and I finally found a handyman. And also, I don't know why the last handyman was particularly weird to me, because not only would he be weird to me, he would say things about me to my family. Like, it was just straight up weird. Like, I don't know, the whole thing really bothers me, but whatever. I'm not going there But pray for that guy if you're led. But yeah, so handyman. I've been praying for handyman, like, Lord, please, the next handyman, I pray he does my ceiling, like, and fixes it right away. And I also pray that he's just my family's handyman, that, like, they can count on him from now on. And I kid you not, I literally got it. I literally got it. Like, I don't know how, by the grace of God. And is it a coincidence that he shows up, he's doing everything I want, and then he starts asking me questions about my Bible study? And he's asking me questions about Jesus and about the Bible and, like, all these things, and I'm just like, there's no way this is a coincidence. No way. Like, no way. No. Like, are you kidding? I'm pretty sure I, like, literally wrote down in my prayer book for this man. Like, I'm not even kidding. And it's just so crazy because, yeah, I told him about the Bible. I told him what version to read. I told him, you know, what chapter. And, you know, he was just kind of saying things that a lot of people feel when they're beginners. And he was just like, you know, the Bible's really confusing. But I do have a Bible, but I don't read it because I just wanted to have one just to have one, but I've never actually really read it, and, you know, all this stuff, and whatever, and that's understandable. You know, if you're reading a hard to understand Bible, I mean, you are straight up going to have a difficult time. You should start off with a beginner Bible, and then eventually, if you want to learn more about the language and the literacy techniques that they used or whatever, like, get into that later. But for now, just, like, understand the message, you know. Sometimes we do have to, I don't know, just don't overcomplicate it. Don't overwhelm yourself, you know. Just start off slow and basic and just go from there, right? That's, like, probably the best possible thing that you could do. And I recommended him that. I told him, read the book of John, 100%. Favorite book ever, the book of John. Read the other Johns as you're, while you're at it. And it's just crazy because this guy was, like, it was just meant to be. Like, because it's just, like, the things he was saying to me, and, like, he was telling me his, like, ideas and, like, business ideas, and this guy just, like, was so intelligent, just so, like, far beyond his years. Like, he had a child, so literally younger than me, but literally somehow mentally older, so beyond his years. It was insane. And yeah, and it's hard, you know, when, I mean, I just get it. I really do. I just get it. But it was just so meant to be, because, you know, I was even telling him about my Bible study family. Listen, I don't want to overwhelm people, so, like, I'm not always like, oh, I was saved from suicide, and by a prophetic person, and, like, my life was changed literally forever. Like, no, like, I don't tell people that. Like, I'm not trying to, like, overwhelm everybody, and I understand that even if I did tell people, they mentally can't even handle it or comprehend it. So I use discernment, like, all the freaking time, on who I can discuss things with and who I cannot discuss things with. It doesn't mean it's always going to be that way, but typically there is a way to handle things, you know. And I could tell based off of our conversation, he needed his own experience with the Lord. Just straight up. Like, he needed his own. And sometimes when we brag about our own, you know, yes, it's a testimony, and yes, sometimes there's a place and time for that, and it does help others, and yes, there's healing through testimonies, even in itself, but sometimes that's not what that person needs. Sometimes they need to just start picking up the Bible. So yeah. So I did what I could. And I told him about my Bible study, and I'm just like, it's so funny because it's like, I feel like everything has just been so right time, right place, like we all just meeting this one person, and somehow, we all just meet up and we're all just kind of hanging out and we're all friends. And, I was just kind of telling him about that, how it's so low drama, so like, it's so low drama, it's so, it's not like girly and cliquey, like kind of like that. It's very like, we want to learn, we want to discuss, like it's just different, it just straight up is. It's just different. We're not, I don't know, like we're not fighting with hoo-ha and then hoo-ha said blah blah blah, like it's not like that at all. And I was telling him this, and he's just like, and I was telling him, like, these people are like my family, like they're like the family I never had, like, and it's like everything's just kind of funny because like I met this woman and she's kind of like basically the mom I never had and have basically always wanted, and it like so beyond my expectations, and this guy is just kind of like, wow, like, I've always wanted that, like I've always wanted family like that, and based off of our conversation, like I feel like I was able to tell like he doesn't really have like a close relationship with his parents, I'm assuming. And his mom like lives far away and just like over in Florida or whatever, and I don't know, pray for that guy if you're led. But really he just was a blessing. He truly was a blessing, and I hope I blessed him as well. But yeah, he was a blessing to me because, I mean, I've been wanting to get these things done. I've been wanting to get my family a handyman, like, so bad. I've been wanting all these things for so long, and then that guy just comes over and we're talking about Jesus, and we're talking about faith, and just crazy. Like I feel like and like I don't know how to say this, but I feel like with like, and I'm talking unbelievers, I feel like the amount of good conversations I've had with unbelievers, I could maybe count on 2 hands. The amount of times I have had just like really good discussion with unbelievers to the point where they hear me out. They want to hear what I have to say. They want to learn. That is so rare. So rare. Like, I love it. I love it. Like, like, I don't know, like, does this, like, even make sense? You know what I mean? Like, does this, like, because I feel like, people just give up right away. They don't even try. And most of the time, this is what people do. They give up. They don't even try. And they never find. Because they never seek. So they never find. But those who seek, find. And those who knock, the door will be open. Am I making sense to anybody? I just think it's amazing. Even if things don't always go my way and how I want them, I just know the Lord is the Lord. And I just know, like, He's just so amazing. The things He can do in your life, and the healings, and even, like, refining ourselves, to become less selfish and more humbled, and work on our hearts, So, I don't know. This video is getting kind of long though, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up. But I just really wanted to share this, you know, and maybe this is a sign for you to start being bold and take a chance. And I can guarantee you that if you take a chance with the Lord, your life will change forever. And it will be the best decision you've ever made in your life. I can 100% guarantee you that. Yeah. And, yeah, be bold, be strong, take a chance, you know? Tell that story to somebody who needs it. And, you know, I know there's been times where, and I'm gonna start listening to this, okay? Because what are the odds that I, like, all of a sudden I just hear, go tell that person your testimony? Like, so random, such a random thought. Like, see that person over there? Like, tell that person your testimony. And I'm just like, I'm not doing that. Like, that's so awkward. Like, I don't know that person, like, you know, but, I know at the end of the day, like, you know, we are meant to be bold, you know, not weak, not hide in a corner. You know, he wants us to be bold and take a stand. And, there's so much power and strength through that, you know? And you never know. You never know. Maybe that person needs it. Maybe that person needed it right then and there. You know? Just like me and my cousin. I mean, he had a plan. He heard my testimony. And whether he becomes a Christian or not, that seed was planted. It just was. That's just the way it is. Whether he becomes saved or not, at least now he knows. And, you know, it's work. It's work, y'all. Like, I'm still working through it. I have to go to therapy. Y'all, if you guys knew some of the stuff I went through, like, as a child, I mean, I didn't even say half of what happened in my testimony. I mean, I just went through things like no kid should ever be through. And, I mean, the most saddening thing about it is, like, I feel like there's so many other people who have it so much worse, you know, but still at the end of the day, it's like, I had, like, a really bad upbringing, I guess, you know, and not horrible, but, you know, pretty bad, and, you just never know. You never know who needs it, you know, and where they come from, and, I mean, what they're planning on doing that night. I mean, there has been times where, like, Eric has stopped people in the street, and they are planning on committing suicide. It was their plan, and they sob in the car in tears because they've been called out by God. They have been chosen by God. It really is beautiful. Like, it really is just, like, and I have so many more stories. And I feel like constantly new things happen. And I'm so excited to talk to you guys about it. I really am. So thank you for listening. Remember to, be strong, be bold, take a stand, take a chance, try something new. I'm trying something new, you know? I feel like therapy, even though it's kind of old, it's new. Because I would be with therapists for a little bit, and then realize I'm not benefiting and leave. To have found an actual good therapist who I feel like can help me, that is new for me, and I'm taking a chance by wanting to get healed and wanting a better life for me. So that's what I want. But yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go. I've been talking a really long time, but I really hope you've enjoyed these stories. I hope this has encouraged your faith. If you have any comments or anything, just leave them down below, and I'll talk to you guys later.